all repeat. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. You say it, we'll repeat it.
Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi.
No, sing.
Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi.
Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi.
Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi.
Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi.
Sarvam Kalvedam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvedam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvedam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvedam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. It means everything is energy. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma means everything is energy. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that energy. Tattvamasi, you are that energy. That's all there is. The four Mahavakyas in Upanishad from Indian Vedic scriptures. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma, I am the consciousness, and then that consciousness is also the Brahmand. Brahma is Brahmand. I am Atma, I am consciousness. My own individual consciousness is there. Your own consciousness there that is guiding you, and then that in turn is the Brahman, because we are that field, that energy. And the last one, Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam, Jnana, Vishesh Jnana Prajnanam. Beyond what you can think of, the spiritual intelligence, all that knowledge that is there, is Brahman. The existence, all that exists, the field is full of Prajnanam, full of information. What is quantum field? It's frequency. It's light, it's frequency. Frequency is what? Information. A TV wave is information, yes or no? What does the TV wave contain? It contains information. When it is decoded, then comes back as imagery. A radio wave contains information, decoded comes as songs. So everything out there in this frequency is all information. You tune into it. Your thoughts are information. Your experience is information, because that is nothing but a collection of people, places, things in a given time frame that you have something, a feeling associated, is information again. Right? When it's decoded, then it comes back as some beautiful experience back to us. So, Prajnanam Brahma. That means the existing Brahman is all that exists, all that knowledge, the Vishesh knowledge is there in the Brahman. So, the Brahman is also equal to Prajnanam. So, it is infinite information. It's all energy, is all that exists. Give a big clap to Mitsuji. Thank you. Take one chair off. Now you know that a true meditation is helping us to experience that field, that energy. We understood from quantum physics perspective yesterday that all that exists is energy, and that energy is you and I and everybody out there. There is no difference. Then where did religions come from? If it's all one, where did religions come from? Where did castes come from? Communities come from? Countries come from? If in the energy field it's all one, then what is all this separateness that we are experiencing? Human created. So that we can have various experiences. But we just recognize that fundamentally all comes from energy, where everything is one, there is no separation. We understand a little bit philosophically that when we come here, we come with nothing, go away, go with nothing, and so then we have. But a little bit of it. But we go a little deeper, and meditation, we experience it. Then, of course, can I get this projector fixed, please? So, when you go into meditation deeper, then we experience that energy that we are. You don't require some special caste community to be. You need not be a special community person. You do not have a lot of Veda mantras to be with you. You don't have to be in caves. You don't have to be somewhere special to experience it. Because simply letting go of your body and mind, that's all it is, dear friends. If you have any other thinking that, oh, this is so difficult, this is far away, I've got to just really start sadhana, do a lot of sadhana, then only experience it, otherwise not. Your very thought is what is making it very far away for you, because your thoughts create your reality. Are you with me on this? It is about also realizing yourself. What do you think about yourself? If you feel, I can know more, if you feel, I can connect with the field, that infinite possibility field. Now, in the context of living a life, of course, very important that to understand where are we going. There are 4 things, and I said in the beginning yesterday. One is to live a life of no suffering, and the second is live a life of fullness. Fullness. No suffering, okay, easy to say, don't desire cars, don't desire this, don't desire that, don't desire homes, don't desire anything, and so give up everything, go to a Himalayas corner, and then yes, you can be living a life of no suffering. Perhaps not. There's going to be a lot more. The desire a lot more will be there unless it's somebody's purpose. But that's one way of eliminating things. But that's not what we're here for. You're experiencing life. So you want to experience, yet at the same time be detached. So there are 2 things that fundamentally for any practitioner that we go in these 2 paths. One path is meditation that we have and wisdom that we constantly learn. That wisdom that we are learning. Meditation and wisdom are the twin things. Jnana and muktihi. So we have to constantly learn whatever is out there. When I first read a book by Scott Peck, a Harvard professor, in year 2003, when I came into meditation 2002, in that book, Scott Peck, it's called Road Less Travel. He said, you have a right to question somebody only if you think it's going to help them grow spiritually. You have a right to question somebody. That means you have a right to interfere, meaning it's not interference, it's going to help them to grow spiritually, so is the reason that you can say something to them and ask them questions. Right? But otherwise not. It was a revelation. Until that time, when somebody is spending a lakh of rupee or 10,000 rupees, say, why did you spend this? Why not? It's material. It has no relevance. That's what Scott Peck is saying. If it's going to help them grow spiritually, if my son comes and says, oh, everybody is bothering me a lot and I'm like this because nobody is cooperating with me, then I want to tell them, look, you create your reality. Don't try to blame people. That's going to help him spiritually grow. But if he's going to come at 7 o'clock, watch at 6 o'clock, I'm not going to bother about it. That is up to him. But we go and interpret everything. So that statement helped me to sort of understand the perspective of where do I even jump into somebody's life or not. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Patriji, when I came into meditation, it was a shocker. He used to say, no complaints, no judgments. How many people are living a life of no complaints and no judgments? Okay, great. Give her a big clap. She raised that quickly. No complaints, no judgments. Is it possible? What is that? It is possible. Okay, give her a big clap again with awareness. She's saying something. It is possible. But no complaints, no judgments. If you actually understand this statement, friends, then you have understood the entire spirituality in there. Just the 2 words. No complaints, no judgments. No matter what your situation is, if Aham Brahmasmi is true, start from there. If Aham Brahmasmi is true, if you know and then say that I am this entire quantum field of infinity, intelligence, and then my thoughts and my observation brings possibility out, then you know that every situation that you are experiencing is drawn by you, but only you, nobody else. If you understand from there and start owning, then you recognize and say, okay, so I'm facing a situation, it is not because of somebody else. You've got to understand this more, you've got to practice this more to come to an understanding. But no complaints, no judgments was very profound for me to practice, for me to stop saying things. In the year 2008, when we were doing the first time a global conference of meditation leaders, we did a lot of work. Service. We were doing a lot of service work. Previous day, toilets were not ready here at Pyramid Valley. Next morning, many guests are coming. We did all kinds of stuff just to see that things come together in time. Now, in the second day, I think, one participant from Bombay came and then shouted, blasted me left and right. Blasted me. She said, what the hell you guys are doing? You don't know basics, you don't know minimum, nothing you can do. And he shouted, went on shouting in front of everybody there. And I was like, okay, great. So you've been putting a lot of night and day into trying to make this happen. And then here you get something beautiful. And I didn't know how to take it. Momently she stopped me. She stopped me from thinking. Because it is like a big blow to me coming onto my face like that. But, the third thing there, meditation builds a lot of awareness. This wisdom helps to understand that everybody is right in their own way. Everyone is right in their points of view. Because everyone talks from their level of understanding. And so everyone is right, nobody is wrong in the world. And so she is expressing what she feels. But then I would decide how to feel and how to react and how to express that moment. So I clearly understood, of course, we had plenty of limitations in accommodation, plenty of limitations, not one or two, because we were just trying to build things up at that time. And so we know it. There may not be water, there may not be broken tap, there may be something not working, we know it. But the primary thing that we come here is for meditation, is for knowledge, is to meet all those international masters and go into deep inside yourself. Comfort and convenience will be there. Is there, is not there. It's only a state of mind. And so from where she was, it is okay. So for a moment I got a little offended. I heard, of course, I'm not just trying to lie here, but of course I got hurt a little bit. A little mad a moment. But then immediately I regained back and said, I just kept quiet. She is right, from her perspective. The same person, after 7 days, she came and then apologized in front of everyone, saying that we did not see the close intention, the serious intention with which you guys work. Because we don't work for trying to gain image. We don't work to gain a benefit. In service, you do because you love to do it to your best possible way. So the complaints were there. It would have been a different situation if it was Patriji when she came in that way, because Patriji always used to blast off people. He is a master, Zen master, he just wanted people to wake up. He just wanted people to wake up. Many people misunderstood. They went away from him. That's their unfortunate moment. But those who could latch on to him could really latch on to know themselves more. Because Zen master is all about direct experience. If somebody is not doing something, he would have just given a hit and a slap also. Right there, that would just cut the ego so much, that would have also gotten them to think more in many ways of how can I improve from that moment onwards seriously. But the point, dear friends, is that no complaints, no judgments was something that in so that moment, this knowledge was helping, that everybody is right in their points of view. So what can I judge her about? She is right. Based on whatever view she is seeing, she is right. And so there's nothing to judge her about. If we judge somebody, then we are carrying that energy to separate ourselves from the other person. We are saying, I'm separate, they're separate. That's what judgment is about. You're not making them one with you. Oh, my husband is always such a... It never works. It never helps only. All the time. You judge and you separate yourself with them. Your energy is separating the other person because you're not making them one with you. And so when you do that, and then of course the vice versa, the spouses, and then if you do that, then you are keeping them separate with you. But then that means what? Your signal is that do not cooperate with me. You don't cooperate, is the signal. You're already separating. The whole point of this field and creation, dear friend, is to become coherence and become one, one. Meditation and wisdom are twin pillars of progress. Jnanan muktihi. Jnanan muktihi. That means with jnana, dhyana to jnana, jnana to moksha. It is knowledge that liberates. Right? So this is a very important point that we emphasize in our programs. And so when somebody says, I practice meditation, great. But you also learn all the important life sutras. They are very important. 90% of spiritual life is about living life here. 10% is to know more about life after death. If we get opportunity, we will talk about a concept of 6 spiritual science theories to bring about how the whole creation happens in this program. But in our 40-day program, we're always covering as a lecture. Right? A lot is given. So dear friends, you meditate and you gain wisdom hand in hand. Right? One of the wisdoms is how do you manifest? How do you create things? That'll be the topic today. And then we do a set of meditations around it. But then how do you manifest? Of course, manifestation we keep hearing. And if we at Buddhasyo, we qualify them into 5 sutras of manifestation. We're going to learn that. When you learn this wisdom, how do you manifest? How do I deal with people? How do I speak? Vakshetra. The first training that I received from Patriji. How do I speak? So all of this knowledge that we learn, meditation and wisdom, these two hand in hand. And as you are there, as you are learning new wisdom, as meditation builds a lot of awareness. You know what awareness is? Awareness to be aware in the moment about your feelings, your reactions, your thoughts, your memories, everything that's happening to you. Awareness is also called consciousness. That means the thing that is there within you, which is observing you, and so that it is sort of telling you what is going on to you. In English, it's called metacognition capability. Metacognition. We are cognitive, but we also have metacognitive. That means as you think, as you write something, you also have an ability to observe and say, hey, wait, am I going right or not right? That's metacognition. But the metacognition has to be quite built so that you're not swept away in emotions. Some people said, emotions come and so that at that moment I forget what I'm doing, what I'm saying. Because in an emotional time, when you say something, when you do something, then you have intense energy. So your creation happens, what to do. So emotional check and control needs to happen. That's happening when you have awareness. That means the observer in you is sort of telling you, wait a minute, why are you getting angry? Wait a minute, why are you getting fussy here? You can just step back with awareness. So meditation builds that awareness. Wisdom helps you to move into a new response. Are you with me? When that lady complained to me, I could have easily taken a response and say, what do you know? You don't know. Just get off here. I could have said that. That's potentially a possibility, right? But then, because I was also a volunteer, not a paid worker, and then I would have easily said it. But the meditation and wisdom will help us to choose the right response. And so there is that thing that is happening, that awareness develops. And then there is another thing that is happening. When awareness is developed, then there is something called life force that gets developed into us. Life force is 3 things. Is why many people, when they come into meditation, they say things are happening to me. I feel energetic. I have a lot of clarity. The awareness, the life force means 3 things. It is power of knowledge, ability to discriminate right and wrong. You call it clarity, whatever. So there is that number 1. Then number 2 is power of will, your willpower. You can have any great idea, you have clarity, but you do not have will to execute. A lot of times we don't have will. We think many things, but we do not, that willpower is not there. So the second is willpower. Third is simply the energy to do. The will is the one that is intending. You know what to do. You know what to do when you go back. But then you need that intention, that power to go and then do it. Somebody has to say, yes, I'm doing it, I'm visualizing, I'm taking an action. Then of course you need energy to carry it. So life force means 3 things. It is power of knowledge, which is sort of giving you the ability to discern right and wrong, make a right decision at any given moment. What is the right thing for me? That clarity comes. How many people are feeling that as you carry your life, then you seem to have that clarity to execute your next day, next day, next day. How many people feel that way when they're living in meditation regularly? Many people are meditating, isn't it? Right, great. Be attentive. And then second thing is then willpower. When you lack willpower, then we cannot execute our ideas. And third thing is your energy to do, right? Energy to do. When you have these three, dear friends, which is the life force is increased, automatically things will happen to us. We live a great life. The wisdom is saying that there is infinite potential. And so then you do not hesitate to take an action. When this place in the year 2003, Patriji said, let's build a mega pyramid. You know how many meditators were there in Bengaluru that time? Not even a handful serious meditators who can even just talk about meditation actually, not, let alone they having money to support it. But then what gave him that power to say, let's create a mega pyramid here, when the entire base is in Andhra Pradesh? It makes common sense, right? That where people are there, that's where you build. But out of Andhra Pradesh, he comes to Bengaluru and says, let's build a mega pyramid, because he was empowered. He understood, he had the wisdom to say that the infinite field of potentiality is there, and then he had this fundamental insight from there that I must build a pyramid in Bengaluru, and so they started with nothing. And then it goes about creating, because that empowerment is required. It's not a small project. It was 16 crores that time. And then today we spent more than 70 crores in this project. Of many things, not just money, people, everything. So that understanding, so the wisdom, that infinite potential field we are, and so everything and anything is possible, but what is the right thing for me needs to happen. That is part of your life force, the right thing. What is right for me? What is right for me is different from what is right for somebody else. You know it, right? So one side, when you meditate, when you develop wisdom, it's not one time. That's the thing. It is a lifetime process. Because we learn here, and then we forget in a week, because the environment changes. So you've got to go back, and then go back and be there. The wisdom, knowledge has to be learned from as many sources. The same point expressed a little differently with a different example, different thing. I'm reading a book by Play of Consciousness by Swami Muktananda. Anybody read this book? Play of Consciousness. Beautiful. He's talking about the journey of a master when you're going through your own sadhana and practice. How many ways that the soul feels sort of appears to you. How many ways, your body is shaking, doing this, doing that, many experiences you get. What do you do with all of that? It's kind of journey, the whole thing together, how miracles can come in front of you, whether you recognize or not recognize, all of it. So it's not new, but then it is explained a little differently by another master. Right? So constantly read, constantly learn different. So wisdom is essential. One of the sheets that are given to you in your bags is given, right? There is a list of books that are recommended. It's a starting point, right? Like this, when it was recommended to me in 2002, as soon as I understood the power of meditation, then first thing I did was to buy all 25 books. There were different set of books were there. I think half books are common, half books were, more than half were new books that were changed into newer ones like You Are the Placebo and all of it. And so I bought all the books, and because the books were there, I was able to read most of them in the next one year. The next 1 year. It's not one book at a time. The greatest investment you can do, we are a practitioner of meditation, to know more, to take on the left side path is to enhance your wisdom and wisdom and wisdom. With meditation, it makes meaningful. Without meditation, that whole knowledge stays as knowledge, doesn't come into wisdom. With meditation, it makes sense. You hear this thing, no point reading many things, it doesn't help at all. And so then people stop reading. That philosophical thing is there. When they don't practice meditation, they don't understand, so they generally come to the Vedantic philosophy of saying, this won't help, that won't help, ultimately the same thing, what's the point? All that doesn't matter. We have to just really understand, experience first with meditation. Then you know then you have a strong footing to talk about whether wisdom will help me or not. If there is infinity to experience, and knowledge is precursor to experience. What is it? Knowledge is precursor to experience. And so without knowledge, you will not go. For example, if you didn't know that a Shirdi Sai Baba can come, Jesus Christ can come, you can interact with them, you can gain wisdom, what will you do? You will just see, oh, okay, somebody came, I don't even bother. In your meditation, you just ignore it, right? If you don't know what to do, what will you do? You'll ignore it. That's also part of the reason why many people do not progress in meditation, because they do not understand adequately what happens in meditation, what do I do with all that stuff. And so when you don't have knowledge, and then we ignore things, and so then we don't progress, because there it's like, a mentor coming to you. Something is coming to you in your office. Your senior is trying to tell you something, and you don't know, you ignore it. Then will they have interest to come back to you? They will not. They'll ignore you also very soon, because they don't want to waste their effort. It's common sense. And so is the case in meditation. And suddenly things stop, and suddenly your progress stops, and so you don't feel any change, and so then you start giving up on meditation, because we do not adequately give time to learn constantly the knowledge. The knowledge is learned through others' experiences. Knowledge is learned through books, which is nothing but experience of a master for the lifetime. It's also an experience of a master for the lifetime, right? And then we listen to others. So when you do these, friends, then life forces increase. We have clarity, we have willpower, we have energy to do things, and so we continue to do it, right? On the second side, life of no suffering. When you meditate, and when you understand this concept that I'm connected, I'm infinite, and this whole energy is all, it encompasses everything. And when we say seeing, meditation, wisdom, so knowledge about life after life. When you read knowledge about life after life, there's a master called Ian Stevenson. Ian Stevenson was a psychiatry department head in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, somewhere there, for one of the universities. And he is highly regarded academician. And so he was hired in sometime in early 70s to disprove reincarnation theory, because there is a lot of stuff going on at that time. Edgar Cayce and many other people started writing a lot of things about how you can connect with something out there. And so one of the departments in the United States hired him to disprove that reincarnation does not exist. But then a few years later, he came back and exactly proving the opposite, that reincarnation is there. He comes back proving a few years later, the same professor. It's called 20 cases of reincarnation suggestive in children. And so he was, and especially when you're doing research, reincarnation, they bring children, young children, because adults could probably fake, whatever the logic is applied too much and then fake things. Where children, especially below 5 years, are innocent. They don't have any necessity to fake things up. And so they just speak. And so the events that are narrated, the children who are experiencing past life events, incidents, where they have fears and phobias, and so they go through, they try to understand what they're saying, look up in that area, whatever they're describing. Like in this case, one child describing there is a fear of water, and every time he goes through, there is a lake, then he really gets very, very scared. And so then he looked up and said, what happened here? Was there an accident here? In a few years before that, there was an accident in Thailand, a small boy. An accident where the father and he were going on a cycle and a bus or something that comes, and then because that they slid off into the water. And so ever since he was scared. But he comes back into a new body within a few years. So it was able to be corroborated with evidences to show that there is and because you're describing that, my home is nearby here. That boy is born elsewhere, but he is describing my home is nearby. And the more closer he went, he was more emotional is becoming. And so then eventually he was able to trace back to the home where he lived and all of it. So like this, he has documented 20 cases of suggestive reincarnation in children, and many, many more are there. So life after death is important to be learned. The case that yesterday when they came, Vijay and team, they're talking about similar concept. When the mother took suicide, and they were guilty because there was some kind of a unexpected, unknown negligence that happened among family members due to various pressures. There are so many dynamics of family are there. As a result, they all felt guilty. It's because of them that mother was taken suicide. Now we have to understand this very deeply. Nobody causes anybody anything except physical harm and hurt. That's what spiritual science is saying. If you are consciousness and I am consciousness, what am I to do to you? How can I do anything to you? Yes, physically I could, but then how can I do anything else to you? It is my lack of understanding is what causes me to take an action and not action. That lady shouted at me, it's my lack of understanding would have made me feel very sad and bad. Must have made me feel like, oh, okay, I'm doing so much of service and so I still didn't get recognition, so I'm getting brickbats, and that would have been my poor understanding.
That would have made me really, really feel sad. I would have exited Pyramid Valley that time. Or my understanding, better understanding, everybody is right, it's okay, she's feeling emotional, let me just step back and I won't become what she's saying, and just step back. That's our understanding, right? Our understanding makes us take the right step. So that is important that we understand when somebody vacates the body, when somebody goes off, that we don't lose anything, either because of you. Nobody ever dies, nobody ever gets hurt. Everybody is creating something to themselves only through their own poorer understanding of life. That there is a life after death, that I have the power to resist if I want to, I have the power to create. If people are ignoring me, if I would like to change, I have the power to create. Me, by just thinking and then feeling differently, I can create what I want. How many people here, as your thought process change, people around you change and then are supporting you greatly? How many people here are having that life? Great. So there itself it knows that your thoughts change and so people around you change. It is natural. So we are not helpless in that situation. If we didn't know, then we are helpless. In her situation, she was helpless. She did not know that if people were potentially isolating her, she did not know. Instead, she took on herself as incapability, that I did not raise my children better, maybe that's why this is happening to me, and then she took the extreme step. We have to understand a few things. And so otherwise, we'll be forever in a guilt trip. What happens if you're in guilty? Why, if you're guilty, what do you get out of that? When you're guilty, what are you thinking? Oh, I'm such a useless fellow. Because of me, people are suffering. Because of me, my mom is gone. Because of me, my children are suffering. And when you say this constantly, then what exactly are you creating to yourself and to other people around you? You're creating exactly what you say. And so your life goes into more and more guilt, more and suffering. It's not really helping at all. That's a simple understanding that we need to know, number one, and then we need awareness so that we can come out of it. Because people around you will still tell you, I don't know how you guys can do it this way. How can you ignore your family? They will say what they want to say. They will tell you they'll give you every kind of word to make you feel so bad. But we need to have the understanding to fence it off and say, okay, wait, I did my best. Beyond that, what else could I do? And so then I'm okay. Okay, I screwed up. I understand I screwed up, but it's not that mean that no, I've got to just live with that guilt and then live with the judgment for the rest of my life, suffering and then completely destroying my life. So that understanding has to come so that you put a pause and then you go forward from there, right? You can't go on going off after a mistake that happened in the past. Gatam, gataha. Past is past. Raat gayi to baat gayi. That's all it is. So it is gone. We got to become that simple, dear friends, with everything. But life after death, when we study, then we will gain so much strength about situations that happen unexpectedly. Everything else we can do. Day to day things are okay. Okay, business challenge, loss, okay. But unexpectedly a partner cheated you. What is the reason? You don't know. You thought you trusted the best person and then put everything, that partner cheated everything and then gone, there is a master in Dubai. They did that. It's like a movie style, everything was there, they trusted so much, and one fine day they recognized that their names have changed, properties all swindled, and then so they became zero. They became zero. And so that's when they entered into meditation because they did not know. So of course they suffered, struggled a lot because they worked really hard in Dubai. You go from India, you work really hard. But then 10 years later, whatever, they became zero, back to square one. They came into meditation, they started understanding. Of course, then you recognize and say, okay, there is a past that is there with me for which I am experiencing now. Law of reincarnation, law of karma is another important aspect. These have to be understood very, very deeply. It can give us beautiful explanations of why certain things happen the way they are happening, where we feel like you don't have control. But the more you understand the science of life after life, the more you can put a lot of pieces of the puzzle together very, very beautifully to make a great life. Right? These two aspects are important, and that's what really gives you the liberation. That knowledge when they got, that guilt is not going to help. The knowledge that their mother is just still be fine. She's going to take another body, another lifetime to come back. You got to just simply know that the reincarnation exists, that anybody, whether it's suicide or no suicide, everybody's going to get back into your body. It is there. So many myths are there about life after death. So many myths. And so as a result, we just suffer with all the myths that we learned here and there. And so when we understand this, then that also got cleared. And so then they're back with a lot of great commitment to see that everybody and nobody ever should suffer with mental illness. Mentally, because it just builds up, right? Our mind is infinitely there. It just builds up in the mind. One small thing keeps creating so much of story. And story can go such a big one that you cannot have control of it. And so their entire work is to make sure that people have a strong mind. Meditation beautifully is building that strong mind with this knowledge, dear friends. So having understood, please turn to the person next to you and then explain what you've done so far. I'll put the chart back.
Right. Should I read or should I read self-briefing?
Was that so?
Before coming on this Earth planet, one should have already decided that what experiences and journeys they have to gain and go for respectively. So we should not have grudges with each other. सही है या wrong?
सही है. अब हमने चूज किए तो सही है. एक मूवी करने के लिए हम चूज किए एक्टर्स को, और कोई बुरा रहेगा.
My answer to the judgment of my wife.
Yes.
What is outside? This answer came out of my mind.
Yeah.
So I tell the good self that whether it is right or wrong.
It is right, as long as we are able to be in a joyful mode in that situation. When we are not, that means we have something to learn to improve ourselves.
So we have decided already that what we have to come here on Earth planet. How journey I have to undertake.
We decided to be here with a specific character, specific person around us to learn our lessons, to improve our lessons, our ability to act better. If the villain is greatly performing, the hero also gets a lot of inspiration to perform better. So that's what we have to learn from every situation without feeling sadness. Then we are through in that situation. Otherwise, we have something to learn. Okay? Okay, friends. So one of the beautiful wisdom sciences is manifestation. Can I play that video of Patrizi on manifestation science? Wisdom to create more, wisdom to accept, wisdom to go into the state of non-attachment. That all are required if you want to live a happy life. How do I be non-attached? How do I accept situations? And then of course, how do I create more? All are required. Now this manifestation science is all about creating more. All right, let's go through it. Listen to Patrizi on this. This light you have to off when you're playing video. Yes. Okay. Yes, we'll take the question a little later. So let's do this. Yes. Yeah. Please go ahead.
One experience, you have become a master. You are become. Meditation plus visualization is equal to manifestation. When you have understood this formula through your own experience, you have become a master. You have become a Jagat Guru. Only visualization without meditation will not manifest. The more you do meditation, the better your visualization will be, and the better your visualization, the better your manifestation will be. Visualization means the mind power. Meditation means soul power. Soul power plus mind power is equal to manifestation. Meditation is soul power. It's not mind power. You have removed the mind, and you are with the soul. Soul is a chip of God. Meditation is God's power. Visualization is your power. The mind's power is equal to manifestation. We want to manifest. We are all creators. A creator means we must create something. It doesn't come to us. We have to create it from within. So that manifestation is the function of a creator. When you are able to manifest according to your wishes, then you understood that yes, you are a creator. Chandraji manifested this 40 days program for everybody. He committed himself for it. He said, I will do it. Then it has been done now. He wanted to manifest this whole program, 40 days program. Years of meditation he did. Then he visualized, I must do something. Meditation is God utilizing your own power, God's power as God. But visualization is using your mind power. Both are equally important. The soul power and the mind power is equal to manifestation. Whatever you want. This is the formula for everybody. Because everybody wants to manifest something. They want something in life. Abundance, newness, miracles, bliss, health, happiness are there for everybody. But it is specifically for those people who have done a lot of meditation and a lot of visualization.
We'll play the next video later. So thoughts and feelings create our outer reality. From the quantum physics understanding, from placebo understanding, we come to the conclusion that our observation, our thoughts and feelings bring our outer reality. This is also the mind of many, many great masters, great business leaders, great thinkers, great philosophers. That's also the mind of many of them. If you go back into the history, whether it's Mahatma Gandhi, whether it's Henry Ford, whether it's Einstein, whether it's Gautama Buddha, they all said nothing but the thought, Walt Disney. And if you see leaders, they're fundamentally always wanting to be on that, they're very goal-oriented, they're always not succumb to the challenges that are there. Challenges are there, but then they stay above and then put their vision on the goals where they want to go. And so that's why the successful company, the difference is the leadership and how they think about their current situations, and they not get pulled into it. And they stay on top. Because they know their thoughts have something to do with reality. If I think and worry about problems today, I'll only create more other problems. Instead, if we can stay somehow above it and stay away from it and then continue to stay of what I want to create. Right now, I'm walking, I'm trying to get down the steps and it's very impossible for me to even take a step. Then I say, oh, my body is just not healing, so this is also like this today, again going to be such a bad day. If that's what you're saying, then you're setting yourself up for a perfect bad day tomorrow, if there is something called perfect bad day. But instead, can I step back and say, oh, my today's thought causes tomorrow, and so my today's thought must be different from how I was thinking about me yesterday. Because I'm like this today because yesterday, day before yesterday, 1 month before, last 6 years, I've been saying and constantly programming myself and telling my body that this is like this and this is going to be like this. And I have got so many inputs have been given by the experts. Oh, you are, reached a menopause time. Oh, you reached, that old age time. Oh, you've done this accident. Oh, you've done this or done that. Because of which, without knowing, everybody gives their own gyan. And so then we take all of that as input and say, oh, because of that, I'm going to be like this. I used to have a backache, and then right in the beginning in 91, I had a bike accident in Bangalore. And then shortly thereafter, the backache started. I thought the backache is related to that only always. But at one time, I made a correlation. I said it was because of my bike accident, something happened, and so this backache started. It started a few months later. But I had to find a reason, because the human brain is logical. It always wants to find a reason for every damn thing. And right now, if you probably your stomach is a little growling, then you will, I bet, oh, is it Pyramid Valley last night food that I'm having? Is it what it is? Is it different oil? Different thing is probably why it is happening? That's what it does, right? First we look at it and say, did I have any street side food? We made a correlation. Street side food is not good. Now outside food is not good. My home food is only good for my body. And so I made like that. I made a correlation. Oh, because of the accident, something must have happened, so I'll be like this. So because I made a correlation, that pain always continued. Now I'm the one who created that link. I had an accident, which is true. And so because of it is happening, so I'm constantly telling my body, you're going to be this way only, forever. But then only later when I came to meditation, I disengaged that past, or disconnected the past. My thoughts changed. Your present is based on your past and your future is based on your present. So we've got to change our current thinking, no matter what you go through right now. That's the key. Even if my leg is aching and I was strapping down, it is difficult. Rather than saying, this is going to be so bad again today, can I just step back and say, I am walking greatly. My body is supporting me greatly, and I am going into this future where I'm going to be climbing up and down like the way I used to do 10 years ago. If we can say those thoughts, friends, and of course it's going to change in due course, the body will change, will respond. It's called epigenetics. Manifestation science is about knowing some of those fundamentals, and so we codify them into 5 sutras, and many of you know this, right? So in the work videos that we've given you, all of this is clearly explained. There's a 15-hour, 5-session video that are there. And I'm going to go through a little bit quickly because we not only have to do this, we also have to do our vision boards today so that afternoon we have beautiful meditation. Of course, after tea also have meditation. The 5 sutras. First one is, what is it saying? Focus. We become one-point-minded. What do you written here? One-point-minded. Focus. Singular focus, razor focus on one thing. Second one is being open to possibilities. How many of you heard this, by the way? How many of you know about these 5 sutras? Okay, so about 40% of the people raised hand. So the second one is openness to possibilities. The third one is visualizing your future. Now this is all about how do you regulate your thought and feeling. That's all the 5 are around that. If thoughts and feelings state a fundamental reality, then how do I remove unwanted thought and how do I enhance energy and increase energy to the thought that I really want to hold on to. That's like your goal. These 5 sutras are around that. So the third one is visualizing your future. Fourth one is what? Reprogramming beliefs. Yesterday we talked about it. There's so much of limitation that are there in our subconscious that constantly tells. Just now, if my leg is paining, my subconscious is programmed and says, oh, it is coming because whatever happened, my body is going to be like this, it's a program. So you're going to say that by default, it's a limitation. Because you're thinking it is true. My body is, of course, aching right now. So I'm going to say, this is like this. This is not healing. You're representing the current state and saying this is not healing. But by doing so, you're also telling to not heal because that's your statement about it. And so then you are creating the same. So limitation that subconscious programs have to be looked into and then changed. The big thing. 90% of manifestations don't happen because of this. And then acceptance and gratitude. Being going to acceptance of the current situation, whatever that is. Can I see as any challenge as some learning experience, and so that I can accept through this. And so that gives me strength. And gratitude helps us to be coming into a more positive side than being get swept away in the negative side of any situation. If we can find something to be grateful for in every situation, then you can suddenly pull yourself out of that negative emotion. And so then you have the strength to accept, so the gratitude. The 5 sutras that are beautifully worked for me and then working for many Buddha CEOs here, but the essence is Patrici codified all of this into visualization. Visualization and then meditation. Meditation, you're accessing the quantum field of infinity, which is constantly giving you what you need because your intentions are there, and so it's constantly sending information towards you in your meditations. And then visualization is where you are directing your thought appropriately and then removing all the unwanted stuff in a way that you can channelize energy towards what you really want, right? So all of this is coming under an umbrella word called visualization, a mind power you use. The soul power and mind power, this is all mind power, right? And they're going to learn through one by one, right? And so the first one is about developing focus. So quickly, focus means what? What is focus? Concentrate on one point. Okay. So when we say focus, we're not just talking about concentration. We're talking about in the gamut of life. If you are taking up something to be done, let's say you're doing a big important travel. For 30 days, you got to travel around the world. Now, you need to be focused about planning if you're planning around it. Now, 3 of you are planning together, family members, and then you guys argue. And you lose emotionally in between in your discussions. Are you focused? You have an argument. Then your daughter says, okay, go, you do what you want to do. I'm not going to be interested. And then she goes off this way, goes off that way. Then what happens for the next 5 days, you probably are not talking again. That's not focus. Your attention is somewhere. When you don't have health, and then you want to be very greatly successful in your business, but your health is not that great, and every now and then you're checking out of office, saying that I've got the BP, I've got this migraine headache, this and that, then are you focused? Where are you focused then? You want to have a great success in your project, but no, every now and then your focus is gone. And now it's about how to fix my body. Focus is not there. It's having great physical health, having great mental health, having great emotional health, the fundamentals of life to actually even participate in life actively, properly. Physical, mental, and emotional health. All right? Mental health, when somebody says something, we don't have to, take this up too seriously. You still be focused. They say, okay, why are you wasting money? Why are you just wasting time? It's easy for people to make comments. Then we suddenly feel, am I wasting money? Okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I should not do this. Maybe I should not attempt because I'm not that capable. It's all lack of having that, your sound mind. Sound mind is important. Strong body is important. Many successful leaders have physical fitness as a greatest regime, many of them. Many of them, if you ask and if you look at and read the biographies, and many of them are writing books, right? And then you will say that, no, I'm waking up at 4 or 5 or whatever, but they always have something to make sure that they have a strong fitness regime. Mentally and physically, they're getting fit. Emotionally, maybe and may not be, all right? But definitely mentally and physically, they're getting fit. It's very important. So focus is that. Concentration, of course, but then we're talking in the context, we must have physical, mental, emotional health greatly. Then your manifestations beautifully will happen. First basic understanding, right? And what is the way we can get this? If we can hold on to meditation, meditation will have you all 3. And then the answer is in a 40-day program. Please join a 40-day program, those of you not done, because we've spent 1 week on physical and mental health, 1 week on emotional health, just talking about various aspects of how meditation builds great emotional strength, right? And so it's a free program, so do join after this. But understand that meditation builds great amount of emotional wellness. Emotional wellness means that we are not just we're not having knee-jerk reactions. We are, nobody is perfect. When I say we're not having, it's not like 100% you won't have, but at least 95% you would have crossed there. And it's a work in progress for everybody always. But you improved a lot from the past. So how many people have improved themselves with meditation about emotional strength? Okay, great. So that's great. So you know that it works, it happens. The second thing, dear friends, is openness to possibility. Can anybody tell what this is? The Buddha CEO is there. What's openness to possibility? Was that? Yes?
Yesterday you gave an example. There was a gentleman who wanted to build a old age home, but then when he got the idea, when he was introduced to meditation and pyramid, he was open to the possibility of having a pyramid as well as an old age home for the same purposes.
All right. So that example that she's talking about, somebody wanted to build an old age home. And then when he learned about meditation, now is open to change it to something new. Now, what did I want to manifest? I wanted to manifest meditation center of excellences. Now, when I hear from this master who had a lot of money, potentially maybe, or he had at least a group who can mobilize money with, when he said that he's building a old age home, you are open that there is a possibility that he might change to something more. Or it could be only meditation center, not old age home anymore. It's possible. Yes, sir, no, it's possible. Normally, what we conclude, in case you are going to an investor who is going to give you funding or whatever, and if that person says, I'm interested in old age homes, we conclude and say, oh, they're not interested. And we go on. Yes or no? Openness to possibility is you already put your seed into them and then see what may happen. Maybe they will change their mind tomorrow. Maybe. It's possible. Just because they said, hey, we're not interested right now, so we are very, very focused on this, not interested, you go, does not mean that they won't change, yes or no. You go about doing what you want to do, but do not conclude and close your door with that other person there. That's the whole idea of openness to possibility. Don't close your doors. My son told me that he won't come for this program at all. Okay? He told me in so many ways, he said, don't even think about it, I'm not coming. Okay, whatever reason. Then I put him last night a message. All right? Then I knew the response he gave, that he started considering again. There, a day before when he wanted to come, then he said no. And 2 days before, he said no. But then you know that everybody changes. Everybody changes your things. So if you are open, if I thought about it, and then one is very good at this, he said, okay, whatever that is, but please put a message again. So I wrote a message, and then a response back, okay, I'm not thinking anything like this at all, something like this. But I know the response means that he's already considering. I don't know if he may show up or not. But I'm open to possibility of he showing up. It's good for him in many ways. It's good for whatever that is coming for. So we don't conclude on anything. Are you with me on this openness to possibility? Anything can happen anytime, and so why unnecessarily conclude and say this is not happening? That's all it is, openness to possibilities. Most of the time, we close the doors by ourselves just because of this. You want a donation, you go to a company, the company says, oh, we are so busy, not giving. You want a purchase order, and so you're going to the company, new initiatives, we're not taking at all. Who knows, the next day maybe they have a big security incident, and they want you to come and say, hey, come. I'd like you to implement, and I'll tell you what, just 1 week is all I'll give you. You want 1 month, they'll tell you 1 week. Sometimes it happens. It happens in business all the time. They just change things. And so a good salesman will not close the door. They stay open to it. But however, it doesn't mean that they just hold on to that only. You still have to go and do what you feel you have to do. You do. But then do not conclude and say, when some colleague comes and says, have you tried this? Don't say with a strong foot down and say, no, they told me they're not going to give. And so don't waste your time. If you're saying that, then you're not open to possibility. All right? If you're saying that, you're not open to possibility. When your spouse told you, meditation is not for me, I'm not getting it. Whenever it's right time for me, I'll come in. Don't conclude and say, my spouse is not interested right now, and then he won't come. Then you're not open. You got to be open the next moment. Who knows, it changes. So you have to continue to talk, continue to ask about it so that when they come into meditation. It's the same thing with your parents. Sometimes the parents may not agree. right? But these days, many parents are taking because of children, right? So give clap to all the children who are giving meditation to so many parents. I've seen it, so many of them. They don't know. It is not being told to them at all, the importance of it. So they may not even know. And so the second thing, dear friends, is openness to possibilities. And so, this one is not beautifully understood when you understand the science of quantum field. It's infinite possibility field. How do I know? You have to experiment. If you experiment once, twice, think about something. I want you to really think about something right now here. Just think about something that you'd like to experience, to see in your life. Whatever. It could be, seeing a 1,000 rupee coin. I don't know. 1,000 rupee note or whatever. It can be anything you got to think of. It's all about you seeing it. Okay, think about something. And then in the next 3 days or 4 days while you're here, every now and then you get an opportunity, you imagine and say that yes, you are seeing it. Okay? Now you just think about it and see what happens. Be very open after thinking about this, and I seriously mean it, by the way. Whatever wish that you'd like to, it could be your direct wish, it could be something you want to experiment with, but experiment. Think about something. It could be, I'm just going to see 2 ducks. I'm going to see elephants. I'm going to manifest, 10,000 rupees or whatever, right? Say something. I'm going to receive a call from my employer about something else. And see what happens in the next few days, if you found any movement in it in any ways. All right? Experimentation is a great way to reinforce that there is a possibility that exists, that anything can happen anytime, and so then you will have doors open. It's called keeping your doors open. Right? So take that minute to think and make an intention about what you'd like to experience and see. Time frame is not yours, but then if you have serious intention, then potentially you may see something of it before you go, and then I'd like you to say at the last day when we are going, or anytime you experience that, and I would like you to tell us. Okay. So the third one is visualization. This is where the real visualization, that is, we are visualizing a future. First one is just getting a mind to be focused, or emotional to be focused, so we're not here, there. We're not unnecessarily getting into emotional issues or no baggage of what people say, this and that. We go into another way of another thing, right? We're doubting our goals and all that. The first one, having strong mind. So your thoughts are channelized towards things that you really want to focus on, right? Second one is you're open, you're not closing doors unnecessarily. People may have told you in front of, on your face, things would have not seemed like they're possible the way you see it, but still be very open. So many times, the weather is before events we do, Buddha Purnima particularly, that there is no, even though the cyclone or whatever has been there, that it be very open, and so then you're crores. If you have sufficient understanding of how you will spend spend the 10 crores, in a way that you are aroused with a feeling, not intellectually, then your visualization will be great. Visualization is to feel that experience in your body right now. So if you know how to spend the 10 crores, and if you know it's not just an intellectual exercise, I'll buy a yacht and then go around, but you're not even experiencing a basic thing here. What you will do with a yacht, you don't even know what it means. So you can't even get a feeling. But visualization, anyway I'll cover a little bit more later, is about living your future. So you have to have clarity of what is that you want in life. And we're going to do a vision board, right, shortly now, to draw what is important for us. So the first step in visualization is to draw a vision board, set your goals. A vision board is about specifying what is important to you in your life at this moment with whatever clarity you have. And then you can always change it a little later when you gain more clarity, right? So we'll draw a vision board today. How many of you done vision boards in the past? Vision boards in the past? Okay, so few. And so we'll draw vision boards now. And then they'll give you some material to go through. But visualization in the end is to draw vision boards of what's important goals, and then for each of them, you have certain experiences you're seeking, like in a great boss, a promotion, there is a set of experiences, a meditation center, set of experiences, a lot of knowledge for me, set of experience around the knowledge. What will you do with the knowledge if you gain? And so then you probably share, you probably write a book, you do something else, so all of that, right, is your experiences and you're visualizing. Then fourth thing is, dear friends, is belief reprogramming. Belief reprogramming, we have a full session on this tomorrow, but belief reprogramming is saying that our subconscious mind holds a lot of beliefs, right? I can't do this, it's not possible, people are this way, life is this way, my body is this way, I don't have resources, I don't have time. Reprogramming beliefs are more deeply there as truths. For example, when I go to somebody for my business is growing, I want to get some funding. When I go to the funding, that event is there, they tell you, okay, we're not giving you because we're not focused. Okay. Then at that moment you're concluding and saying, oh, they're not ready to give. Belief is something that happened to you over and over and over, so it comes from inside. Open to possibility more driven through external events. External things day to day, when they happen, then you are concluding right then and there based on what you see. Okay? We conclude because we say, oh, they said they're not given, they're not going to give. Right? And so whereas belief is something over and over, deeply ingrained, it comes into you by default. Okay? There could be a little bit of correlation. Right? I see where you're going. There could be a little bit of correlation. So beliefs are your false truths. They are there. For example, millets are the only way to have very healthy body, easy digestion. Who have that belief? Millets are the only way. Millets are good is good, but millets are the only way. Oh, I didn't have millets, that's why I'm having struggle. That's a belief. I didn't have millets and that's why I'm having hard time today is a belief. Fruits are great, but if no fruits, it doesn't mean that your body cannot digest. Right? Dense foods to low dense foods is great. Concepts are to be understood, but don't form beliefs around them. Right? Oh, I didn't have this, and so my vitamin D deficiency has come. Oh my God. So the more I think about deficiency, the more the body responds that way. If you have to study this fully, if genes can be reprogrammed, and so why can't something be? Why am I saying this so confidently? Now, if I'm able to be there, since 22 years later, I have not done a body checkup at all for the last 25 years. I've not gone to any health checkups, not gone to doctors. I don't look at food labels. I don't have any rationing of what food I do other than vegetarian food and no garlic and no mushroom. And then everything else I just do as I feel I would like to eat. And then I don't follow any regime fixed pattern at all of health, no regime, no fixed pattern, 8 o'clock dinner and this and that. Sometimes eat dinner at 11 o'clock, sometimes have coffee in the night at 2 o'clock, ice cream any time of the day, doesn't matter. But still, you are powering yourself and you are happy and joyfully there. And why me? There are people who don't eat anything and are still there. So where is food and where is the limitation that they're coming from? Some people don't eat anything, so what happens to them about vitamin D or E deficiency? I don't know what the deficiency is that people talk about. It is there because we keep checking. We are just too programmed about what externally things have come to us, and so based on that, we just continue to measure ourselves against. We've forgotten our own inner intelligence of the body. What is the most intelligent system on the planet? Can anybody tell? So what is the most intelligent system? What is that? Human body, you know it. The most intelligent system. We haven't figured out. The closest may be the computers, supercomputers, where many, many parts are working together at a micro level. Many, many things come together and work. But this one is far beyond that, all right? And then we don't even understand a tiny part of it. And so how can we project with the tiny thing that we understand and say everything of the body is based on that? We need to gain our intelligence back, and meditation will give you that strength to feel, tune into your feeling to tell you you're feeling good and not good. Right? And the body has the capability to heal if you give it the right rest and whatever that is necessary. Two things that you follow. How do you do? Experiment, na? Prashant, if you experiment, you will know. Experiment for 6 months, and then without doubt, and then if you're happy, then do it for another 6 months. If you're happy, do it for another 6 months. Many people, that's so, have given up their non-vegetarian food. 40 days they experimented, they found so joyful, very swift, and sharpness is there. And that's what I experienced. I used to eat 5 times a week meat. Vegetarian food is very, very fundamental. It's sacred, it's auspicious, it is very, very good for the body. And then most importantly, on compassionate grounds, by default, we move towards vegetarian food and living. By default. It must be taken. It is to me like a poison pill waiting to happen that we're consuming because it just has so much of implication and many aspects. Vegetarian diet is very, very essential. But our meditation will help us to go into and make those changes in diet. Just a little bit. It's the main thing is just the food from non-vegetarian to vegetarian. That's the only thing we ask, that you make a change as soon as possible. So this fourth thing is difference is reprogramming limiting beliefs. There are so many beliefs around food choice also. And then everything has to be looked at. And a great book in this process that can help, especially from a body perspective, is Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. Dr. Bruce Lipton, Biology of Belief. How many people read that book? Okay, great. And then please listen to his talks also. Right? And of course, they constantly upgrade, they constantly have something newer to say. Right? And then the last thing, dear friends, is accepting and expressing gratitude. So belief reprogramming will come back to it because 90% of our life is driven through beliefs that we hold. And so many times we hold our manifestation back because of the beliefs. After nearly 2002 to 2015, after nearly 12 years later of meditation practice, I had 5 limiting beliefs around my business and why it's not getting acquired. 5 limiting beliefs. I thought I was meditating, I thought I was visualizing, I thought I had awareness. But still, because beliefs are such that they form so quickly at the drop of a hat. They form, 2-3 times you experience something today in your business, in your day-to-day with a person, then suddenly you form a belief without even realizing. That conclusion we make on people, that judgments we have about people's situations suddenly becomes a belief and then sits in there subconsciously and then starts working against you if it is a limitation, right? And so it is possible, and then why research shows that 90% people, they're stuck with the limitations and then life is governed through these subconscious programs, and then many of them are limitations, so you have a limited life about health, about manifestation, about future growth and many things. Okay, so it's a very important aspect. We'll cover that tomorrow. And so the last one, dear friends, is expressing gratitude, accepting. Basically, it's like this. If you want to think of a good future, if you are sad and if you are suffering, can you think of a good future? You are really, really, very, very sad right now about a situation. Right? We are very frustrated. Somebody blamed you at workplace because you guys did not deliver quota. Now you're very frustrated and say, how could they blame me? Because I'm not the one, somebody else's issue, but they blamed you. Then nobody is listening to you. So if you are in the frustrating mode, can you imagine of a great future? You can't. Your future, you can be only in a good thought and higher emotion. Only then you can dream of a future. Now, a situation like that, It's in your hand to change it to something beautiful, if only you can elevate yourself into a higher emotion. So acceptance is essential of the current situation, no matter what it is. Somebody blamed you, okay, so what big is going to happen? Okay, they blamed you. Worst is that they conclude something about you. And worst is that means you may potentially lose your job, career, whatever. That's possible. That's all it is. They're not going to take your life away. Suppose the life is also taken. So what is possible then? Do we have an understanding of what it means at that point? Do you have a sufficient understanding? So be it, okay? If they put me, that's what Socrates said, right? Socrates was taken to he was executed, right? He called people and said, hey, come and then execute me. I'm ready to go today. People are crying outside. He said, I'm ready to go. Because for him, it is just one more transitioning point. He was the greatest philosopher, spiritual scientist, Socrates. They're not just about governance, but they knew that spirit has to be nurtured. They knew there is a life continuity is there. So he was never worried about it. So when you have that understanding, dear friends, then we easily dismiss the worst case, and so then we are able to accept. We have to go into acceptance so that that issue that we are going through must be dissolved. It cannot hold the power on us. Then we can go into the future again. We can imagine a future. So acceptance is fundamental as part of manifestation sutras, because if you're not accepting, you're resisting a current event and a situation. Then resisting, obviously you're putting out an energy and a signal that is exactly opposite of what you want. And so then things are again going, they're not necessarily helping a manifestation. Right, friends? And so gratitude is a great way. We'll come to the gratitude, because it's like this. When you fail in your business, then of course you can sit and cry, or you can look at and say, there are so many people who have the deep calling to go and then start a business, but they never got it, but you are able to at least get to a business and do things by yourself. That's a way to look at it, right? You failed, but you at least got an attempt to start your own thing. Many people just left as a dream for them. They couldn't even get past that thing. Yes or no? So many. All right, so many, it takes time. And you got rejected at a job interview. Many people can't even apply for a job interview because they don't even have qualification. So you can be grateful for. So many ways you can look at this, and so be grateful for something. It can be as basic as we are breathing, we are eating, we are getting up from the bed every day. How many people you know are not getting up from the bed every day? Can anybody tell on the planet? In the morning, they're not getting up from the bed anymore. What's that? Few millions of people are not getting up from the bed. We are up from the bed. We did conscious exploration today. So how much grateful we can be? Gratitude is essentially inculcating the abundance concept into us. That means we find something to say, yes, I've got something in my life, as opposed to finding and saying, I don't have something. Are you with me on this? Gratitude is a way to show that I've got something in life. Otherwise, you're only complaining, saying, I don't have. The classic story of that glass half empty or half full, how do you see it? It's the same thing here. So gratitude is a great way to signal the quantum field that you got something. The more you say you got something, you feel good about, the more you attract, because that's what you're saying. You got stuff in your life. The more you say you got stuff, the more you receive, because that's your statement. That's your affirmation. That's your intention, saying, I've got enough stuff. I got things into my life. I'm happy I've got interviews. I'm happy I've got to try. I'm happy, even though I failed all the money in my business, but at least I got funding, right? So we need to be grateful for whatever that we've got celebrated. And so from the 5 sutras, then when you combined, is your manifestation science, and then they'll happen automatically when you regularly meditate and practice this science. All right? What's the first one here? Focus-minded. Second one? Openness. Third one? Fourth one? Beliefs. And fifth one? Acceptance. There'll be quiz every day in the middle of the night for you on this. When you wake up. These 5 sutras, we just want to know enough so that we can develop them enough. There'll be situations all the time. The question is somewhere one of the other you'll latch into and then say, where is my thought? Okay, so it's gone, it's going somewhere. I'm into the blame game. I'm into feeling low. I'm feeling the suffering, this and that. And so you really have to remember any of these things. If you don't remember, then automatically you'll come out of them to go into higher emotion feeling. All right? Okay. Yes, madam? Tea break. Boy, okay. Tea break. Okay, so we'll take tea break and then we'll meet back. How much time should we take? 15 minutes. Okay, so this children pressure is pressurizing me. I'm stressed right now, really. Because children, I think, they're coming back. So it's already, what is the time now? 11:50. We have to do a 1.5 hour meditation. Where is all the time now? 11:15, 12, 1:15, 1:30. You have to draw your vision boards. Okay, so 15 minutes is the time. Please come back in 15 minutes. Okay. 15 minutes when you come back, we're going to draw our vision boards. All right? And setting your goals onto it, we're going to jump into the process and then we get down to a meditation after that, soon after that. Yes?
From there. Now it's okay. Then I want to get. That you should tell. Okay. But now people also know. I was signaling you. It's not working.
Okay. Yes, actually, we have the child team.